Today we will be studying the gross anatomical features of the anal canal. Now, anal canal is the last part of the large intestine and it is a terminal end of the alimentary tract. It does not have any of the three cardinal features of the large intestine, that is, it is devoid of the tinea coli, appendices epicloicae, as well as it is devoid of the saculations, and it doesn't have a mesentery or a mesocolon either. Now, as is seen here, the anal canal begins at the anorectal junction, where the rectal ampulla suddenly becomes narrow, and this junction is situated about 2 to 3 centimeters in front and slightly below the tip of the coccyx. From the anorectal junction, the anal canal passes downwards and backwards through the pelvic diaphragm and opens at the anal orifice, which is 4 centimeters below and in front of the tip of the coccyx. When we talk of measurements, in adults, the length of the anal canal is about 3.8 centimeters and the breadth when the anal canal is empty, the lateral walls are approximated and the canal presents an antero-posterior slit. The anal canal is empty most of the times except while passage of the feces. The anterior wall is shorter as compared to the posterior wall and the canal is surrounded by the sphincter ani muscle, and the tone of this muscle is what keeps the anal canal closed except during defecation. Now let us see what are the relations of the anal canal. Anteriorly, the anal canal is related to the perineal body, and in males it is related to the bulb of the penis and the spongy urethra, while in females it is related to the lower part of the posterior wall of the vagina. Posteriorly, it is related to the anococcygeal raphe, fibrofatty tissue and perianal skin. On either side, it is going to be related to the ischiorectal or the ischioanal fossa and its contents. Now let us see the interior of the anal canal. The interior is divided by the pectinate line and the Hilton's white line into three areas: an upper part, an intermediate part and a lower part. The upper part measures about 15 millimeters and is limited by the pectinate line. It is lined by semi-transparent mucous membrane. Internal rectal venous plexus lies deep to the mucous membrane and gives it the reddish color in life. Features seen here, we see the anal columns. These are nothing but permanent mucous folds, longitudinal in direction, 6 to 10 in number, and each column is formed by reduplication of the mucous membrane containing radicals of the superior rectal vessels and the muscularis mucosae. These are called as the anal columns of Morgagni. The next feature seen here are anal valves. These are permanent crescentric mucous folds connecting the lower ends of the anal columns. The free margins of the valves are directed upwards. The position of the valves is indicated by a wavy pectinate or dentate line. These are the anal valves of ball. Also seen here are anal sinuses. These are recesses or outpouchings just above the valves, which are seen between adjacent anal columns. These are more deep on the posterior wall of the anal canal. And another feature seen here are anal glands. Floor of the anal sinuses receive the ducts of the tubular anal glands which ramify in the submucous coat of the anal canal. Then we go on to see the features in the intermediate area. This is the area of the pectine or the transitional zone. It's about 15 millimeters in length, intervenes between the pectinate line and the Hilton's white line. Features seen here, it is lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium without sebaceous and sweat glands. The lining epithelium is adherent to the overlying structure and the area is surrounded by internal rectal venous plexus, giving it a bluish pink color in life. This area is richly supplied by vessels and somatic spinal nerves. We then go on to see the terminal or the lowermost part of the anal canal. This is about 8 millimeters in extent, lined by skin with pigmentation. It shows a number of radiating skin folds which converge upwards. This lower part is also called as the anal verge. Thus we have seen the three parts of the interior of the anal canal. The upper part showing the anal columns, anal valves, anal sinuses and anal glands, intermediate part and the lower part. A little bit more about the pectinate line. The pectinate line forms the mucocutaneous junction of the anal canal, that is this one, and it is this point which corresponds with the position of the anal valves. It is situated in the middle of the internal anal sphincter muscle and it divides the anal canal into an upper part and a lower part which is different in development, blood supply, lymphatic drainage and nerve supply. Let us see how this is done. Developmentally, the upper part of the anal canal is derived from endodermal cloaca while the lower part is derived from ectodermal proctodium. As far as arterial supply is concerned, the upper part is supplied by the superior rectal artery while the lower part is supplied by the inferior rectal arteries. Similarly, the venous drainage of the upper part drains into the superior rectal vein, which is going to continue as the inferior mesenteric vein and will drain into the portal system, while the lower area is drained by the inferior rectal veins, which will drain into the systemic circulation. Lymphatic drainage of the upper area drains into the internal iliac lymph nodes, while the lower area drains into the horizontal set of superficial inguinal lymph nodes. Thus, as far as the lymphatic drainage is concerned, this pectinate line forms the watershed line of the anal canal. Nerve supply of the upper area is done by autonomic nerves, sympathetic supply coming from the superior hypogastric plexus, fibers carried from L1, L2, while parasympathetic is done by the pelvic splanchnic nerves, fibers carried from S2, S3 and S4. Upper area is insensitive to cutaneous sensations. The nerve supply of the lower area is done by somatic spinal nerves via the inferior rectal nerves, and this area has cutaneous sensations. A little bit about the Hilton's white line. This is a color contrast between the bluish pink area above and the black skin below. It represents the anal intersphincteric groove at the lower end of the internal sphincter muscle. So this here is the Hilton's white line, differentiating between the upper and intermediate parts and the lower part. So area lined by skin is demarcated from the area covered by mucous membrane. Thus, we have seen the gross anatomical features of the anal canal, its relations, details of the interior, and then details of the arterial supply, lymphatic drainage, and the nerve supply of the anal canal. Thank you.